Station.
It almost seems like yesterday. Where do the good times go? Life was so much easier 20 years ago. Oh, it almost seems like yesterday 20 years ago.
When I was really young, as early as 4, maybe 5 years old, I remember so well my dad putting all the kids in the back of his pickup truck in Houston and driving to Apple Springs, Texas, where all of his brothers and sisters played some instrument or another. My dad played fiddle as opposed to violin.
Youth only happens to you one time. So I've been told. If you should miss it in your young time, have it when you're old.
But once they started playing music, they really became a cohesive unit, and that was something that I think stuck with me as a child, to realize what an impact music can have on not just a single person, but a group of people.
But it's great after staying out late, walking my baby back home. Arm in arm over meadow and farm, walking my baby back home. Now we stroll along harmonizing a song. I am reciting a poem, and hours go by and she gives me the eye, walking my baby back home. We stop for a while, she gives me a smile, snuggles her head to my chest. We're starting to pet, and that's when I get her powder all over my chest. After I kind of straighten my tie, she wants to borrow my comb. It's one kiss, then we're together again, walking my baby back home.
My musical career has been so, I don't know what the word, diverse, for lack of a better term. If you go back and look at me historically, I started as a child in country music and was very happy. Then at 19, I became a jazz musician. I was very happy. At 27, I became a folk musician. I was very happy. Then I became a country rock musician, and I was very happy. Then I became a country singer, and I was very happy. And now here I am back in jazz again, and I'm very happy.
And then we're together again. I'm walking my baby, talking my baby, walking my baby. I don't mean baby, walking my baby back home. My baby back home.
I think there's no question that my musical life has encompassed a lot of different influences. Even when I was at my most successful point, having all the hit records, my reference, of course, was country music, because that's what my mom and dad played. But when I got into with Bobby and I started learning jazz, it took me kind of in an offshoot. But I always said that I was a country singer who had a lot of other musical influences.
There is no explanation that we can understand. stand, but without reservation. We say this feeling is grand. Well, it's a good day for singing a song, and it's a good day for moving along. Well, it's a good day. How can anything go wrong? 'Cause it's a good day from morning till night. Well, it's a good day. It's a good day for shining your shoes, and it's a good day. It's a good day for losing your blues. Everything to gain and nothing to lose. 'Cause it's a good day from morning till night. I said to the sun, good morning, sun, rise and shine today. 'Cause you gotta get a going if you're gonna make a show, and you know you got the right of way. Well, it's a good day for paying your bill, and it's a good day for curing your ills. So take a deep breath and throw away your pills, 'cause it's a good day from morning till night. I said to the sun, good morning, sun, rise and shine today. 'Cause you gotta get her going if you're gonna make it short, and you know you got the right of way. 'Cause it's a good day for paying your bills, and it's a good day for curing your ills. So take a deep breath, throw away your pills, 'cause it's a good day from morning till night. Well, it's a good day from morning till night. Well, it's a good, good day, so throw your pills away, 'cause it's a good day from morning till night. Oh, say thank you and hello to my friends Bobby Doyle and Don Russell. Oh, I can't tell you what a thrill that is for me, because Bobby, Don, and I have not sung together for 30 years. We have not seen each other for 20 years. And I called them 3 nights ago and I said, you have to come out here and do this, because that's really where it all started for me 30 years ago with this music.
I guess right out of high school is when I started playing bass, and I went with Bobby Doyle, and we developed a group that within about 2 or 3 years was, I think, one of the leading groups in that whole area of the state, and we were very jazz oriented. And the thing I think that is so important to me about having met Bobby Doyle and Don Russell and the members of the Bobby Doyle 3 is that it introduced me to an era of music that there's no question I would otherwise have totally missed.
When I fall in love, it will be forever, or I'll never fall in love. In a restless world like this is, love is ended before it's begun, and too many moonlight kisses seem to cool in the warmth of the sun. When I give my heart, it will be completely, or I'll never give my heart. And the moment I can feel that you feel that way too, is when I fall in love with you. When I give my heart, it will be completely, or I'll never give my heart. And the moment I can feel that you feel that way too, is when I fall in love. It's when I'll fall in love. That's when I'll fall in love with you. Okay, you know that I sang with Bobby Doyle and Don Russell. What you do not know is that I play bass with Bobby Doyle and Don Russell. You're now about to see why I gave up playing bass with Bobby Doyle and Don Russell. You guys go ahead and start. I'll catch up to you when I can.
I started after I played guitar for about 7 or 8 years, and it was mostly from the time I was 12 till I was about 18. And I met Bobby Doyle and another guy named Bill McDaniels, who were very jazz oriented, and I was playing guitar, and Bobby asked me if I wanted to come play bass in his group, and I said, well, I didn't play bass, but I played guitar. And Bill McDaniels said, I think it'd be worth your while to learn to play bass. And I said, but why? I play guitar. And he said, but there's a lot more demand for bad bass players than bad guitar players. periods in my life that each one have such an incredible significance on the next. I would have to say probably the period that impacts me the greatest would be the period with Bobby Doyle in that era, musically. I'm just strictly talking musically now. Because I think it really opened up my eyes to a whole different world, and yet didn't exclude where my roots came from. When Bobby Doyle and Don and I broke up from the Bobby Doyle 3, I was really lost. I didn't know what I was going to do. And we put another little group together called the Lively Ones, which was still jazz in Houston. That lasted about 2 months. But I got an interesting phone call. We were working at a club called the Houston Air in Houston, and I got a phone call from a guy named Mike Settle, who was with the New Christy Minstrels. And Mike called me and said, look, I'd like for you to sing something for me on the phone because we're thinking about hiring you for the New Christy Minstrels. And here I am in this hotel lobby singing to this guy I don't know on the phone. And I thought there was something particularly unique about that. But I got the job, so I must have done something relatively well. But I really owe that job and that move from Houston. I've always felt that a smart man is not necessarily one who knows all the answers, but knows where to find them and knows when to move. And I think that's what I've always been best at. I realized right quickly that I needed to get out of Houston. I needed to do something with my life. So there were 3 other members of the New Christy Minstrels that decided to defect with me. So the 4 of us just we gave them our notice and we walked away and started the first edition. That was 1967, I guess.
I'm very proud to present this group because they are a new group on the horizon. They've been together a very short time. They are called the First Edition, and I wonder why. They are dressed beautifully, and I think you are the leader, are you not?
Well, not really. We're all kind of share the responsibility and the blame. If something goes wrong, everybody's a leader.
Well, may I ask your name?
Sure, tell you what.
When I was playing jazz, I wore 3-piece suits and a tie and a diamond stick pin, and I was really a pretty snappy dresser. And then I went to the New Christy Minstrels, which was all folk music. So then I went to jeans and different things, and then from that to the first edition. And when the first edition started, I was about 7 or 8 years older than any of the other guys in the group. So I had to change my appearance because they were all young looking and I was trying to get into this group, and they kept saying, but you're really a little old for what we wanted to do. So that's when I grew my long hair. My hair was down to my shoulders. I had an earring in my ear, and I wore my rose-colored sunglasses. And I had a jacket at one time that was a Levi jacket. I'd love to find this. It was a Levi jacket, a blue jean jacket that had mink tails that hung down from the sleeves. And I was pretty happy with it.
Baby, are you contemplating going out somewhere? Shadow on the wall tells me the sun is going down. Take your love to town. It wasn't me that started that whole crazy Asian war, but I was proud to go into my patriotic chore. Yes, it's true that I'm not the man I used to be. I still need some company.
I classify myself as an entertainer. I'm a person who can sing. I think I tell stories as well as anybody out there. I think that if you give me a story song, A Coward of the County of the Gambler, Lucille, this, that, or the other, I think I do that as well as anybody. Great singer? No. I've never considered myself a great singer. But I do feel that I bring to music, to my songs, a certain amount of passion, a certain amount of heart that are very important. And I think most importantly, I have a very distinctive voice. I think that when you hear my voice, within 8 or 10 words, you usually know it's me. It doesn't necessarily mean you like it, but you know it's me.
On a warm summer's eve, down the road, I met up with a gambler. We were both in taxi, so we took turns staring out the window at the darkness before boredom overtook us. He began to speak. He said, "Son, I've made my life out of reading people's faces, knowing what the cards were by the way they held their eyes. So if you don't mind me saying, I can see you're out of aces. For a taste of your whiskey, I'll give you some advice." So I handed him my bottle, and he drank down my last swallow. Then he bummed a cigarette, asked me for a light, and the night got deathly quiet, and his face lost all expression. Said, "If you're gonna play the game, boy, you gotta learn to play it right. You got to know when to hold up, know when to fold up, know when to walk away, know when to run. You never count your money when you're sitting at the table. There'll be time enough for counting when the deal is done. Now every gambler knows secret to surviving is knowing what to throw away, knowing what to keep. Cause every hand's a winner and every hand's a loser, and the best you can hope for is to die in your sleep." So when he finished speaking, he turned back toward the window, crunched out his cigarette, faded off to sleep. Then somewhere in the darkness, the gambler, he broke even. But in his final words I found an ace that I could keep. You got to know when to hold, know when to fold up, know when to walk away, know when to run. You never count your money when you're sitting at the table. There'll be time enough for counting when the deal is done. You got to know when to hold them. Everybody, know when to string players, know when to walk away, know when to run. You never count your money when you're sitting at the table. There'll be time enough to count when the deal is done. There'll be time enough to count when the deal is done. When the deal is done.